everyone. This is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, July 15th through Sunday, July 21st, 2019. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Power Angel Tarot deck by Radleigh Valentine for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Black Moon Astrology cards by Susan Shepard. So just a reminder that we are now at the halfway point of July, and this is a month of eclipse season. So we've already had a new moon solar eclipse at the beginning of the month, and this week, in this week's weekly reading, we'll be talking about the full moon lunar eclipse that's coming up. And these eclipses are a powerful energy of change and transformation and redirection. So it intensifies the unfolding of events and circumstances in our lives. And whereas a normal new moon or a normal full moon energy usually takes us until the next new or full moon, these eclipses, the energies last until the next set of eclipses. And the next set of eclipses are not until towards the end of December 2019 and into the beginning of January 2020. So the energies unfolding, the circumstances, the intensity of energies will have an effect for quite a few weeks to come. Now, let's go ahead and start by looking at your stones of choice. The first stone of choice is, let's see, which one do I want to pick? Is a carnelian wand. Okay, so the carnelian wand, of course, this relates to our sacral chakra energy. This is the energy of passion. This is the energy of creative self-expression. And a wand, of course, with a point on one end helps to direct the energy. So we're talking about directing our creative self-expression out into the world, directing our passionate energy out into the world, or coming into a sense of balance with our passion and with our creative self-expression. The next stone of choice is going to be a selenite heart. And selenite, of course, relates to the crown chakra, higher vibrational energies and awareness kind of streaming from source in through the crown and out through the rest of your body here. This is going to bring a connection with the universal realm, a connection to past lives, future lives, connection to the angelic sources and the messages from the angel realm. This is going to help to bring a sense of clarity. You can see there's kind of an opaqueness with the selenite, and so it's almost like a fuzziness here, but we're coming into, again, with this higher vibrational energy, a sense of more clarity when it comes to our lives. And then the last stone of choice is going to be this beautiful chrysocolla. Chrysocolla is a blue-green stone, sort of like turquoise, and it's relating to both the heart chakra, which is the green color, and the throat chakra, which is more of that turquoise blue color. So we're merging and balancing how we feel with what we speak and speaking our truths. This is also an energy that reminds me of merging heaven and earth, because the green, of course, we associate with the Earth Mother and all of her green nature and trees and grasses, and the blue kind of the night sky in a sense. And so I always feel like we're merging the third dimensional with the higher dimensional planes here. Okay, so again, your stones of choice are that carnelian wand, the selenite heart, or the chrysocolla. The reason why I brought up the eclipses before we move forward is because I wanted to say, if you haven't already seen the monthly angel card reading for the month of July, that gives us the whole overview of this month of eclipses and gives us an overview of the numerological energy of the month of July. I would suggest and guide you to go to my YouTube channel and watch that monthly angel card reading for the whole month. Another quick announcement before we get into the astrological energies and then the messages from our angels and guides is I'm really excited to announce that I have a brand new website. Actually a redo of the old website. A lot of you are probably wondering why in the world I would announce this or activate this during Mercury retrograde season, which is what we're in the midst of. Mercury retrograde is a time to redo, and since I was taking my old website as a template and redoing it, having someone redo it, because that's not my forte, But this is a time where I thought that I could go ahead and announce it because it's done. If it wasn't done, I would wait, but because it's done and it's something that's been redone and just given kind of a facelift, so to speak, I wanted to announce that it's now active. I'm sure there's going to be tweaks that need to be done during the Mercury retrograde season, but if you would like to, I would love for you to visit the new website at sacredsoulempowerment.com. Tell me what you think. All the services are still there. There's actually a couple of new services that have been added, and it just has an all new and fresh look to it. So I'm really excited to have that out there. Thank you to all of you that have supported me and sent in your new reviews and testimonials for that site, by the way. So let's go ahead and now talk about the astrology for the week of July 15th through July 21st. So as I mentioned, this is our week where we have a full moon lunar eclipse. And that full moon lunar eclipse happens on Tuesday the 16th, and it happens at 24 degrees Capricorn. Now 2 weeks ago when we had our new moon solar eclipse, the new moon solar eclipse was at 10 degrees Cancer. Okay, this is the axis of Cancer and Capricorn where these eclipses are occurring. And Cancer is all about home and family matters. And this is where the new moon was, the new moon eclipse. So we had new beginnings here that were starting to unfold. And as I said, the eclipse energies will last until the next set of eclipses. So this is for the weeks to come, where there's new energies, circumstances, and situations unfolding in regards to home and family, or those people that we're very close to. Or it also includes land and property. That's part of what Cancer rules as well. It can be about something or someone that we're emotionally attached to, because Cancer rules emotional attachment. It also rules matter of security, emotional security, financial security. So there's new beginnings in regards to those as well. Now this week on Tuesday, we have that full moon lunar eclipse at 24 degrees Capricorn. And Capricorn, being the opposite of Cancer, is the part of the axis that rules our career path, our destiny path, our life path, who we are out in the world, wanting to be recognized for what it is that we do out in the world. It's about authority. It is about building something, whether it's building a business or building a life, building a new sense of a solid foundation for ourselves. And, you know, this is it's an earth sign. Capricorn's an earth sign, so we're talking about manifesting something. So the full moon is an energy of completion. It's an energy where we're crescendoing into the intensity of the full moon, and especially even more so because it's an eclipse. And then we'll be in this cycle of the waning moon, where we're releasing something, we're letting go of something. So in a sense, we're releasing and letting go of an old way of life, or an old way in regards to career or business or who we are out in the world on some level. And again, it ties in with the home and family. There's a balance going on here between these two things. So endings with the full moon, new beginnings with the new moon. There's going to be endings and new beginnings that are even more intense for the weeks to come, because they're eclipse energies. And this is a total eclipse. And not only is it an eclipse energy, but this full moon connects with Pluto, the planet of power, control, death and rebirth, transformation, regeneration, transmuting lower vibrational energies. So there's huge, big changes here, powerful changes, because that's what Pluto is all about. And whether it is within this week that you're experiencing these powerful changes, or whether maybe they're being initiated, or whether they're in the weeks to come until the next set of eclipses, you're going to find a transformation occurring in your life. Now, also on the same day as the full moon lunar eclipse, a little bit later in the day, we have Venus, the planet that rules love and relationships, money and finances, and she is opposing Saturn. Now, Venus is right now in Cancer as well. So again, bringing up the home and family theme. And Saturn rules responsibility. Sometimes it rules limitation and restriction. Sometimes it rules manifestation and bringing something into form. With the opposition, this means it's playing out with other people in our lives, friends, family, loved ones. There's an interaction here with Venus in Cancer opposing Saturn in Capricorn. It's going to be especially powerful too because it's on the same day as the full moon lunar eclipse. And as we move throughout the week, Venus is highlighted this week. And I'm going to go ahead and mention that now, so it kind of creates a story and a path for you to look at or become aware of, because again on Tuesday she's opposing Saturn, so there's some sort of responsibilities that we're dealing with in relationship matters or finances. And we also might feel a little bit of restriction or limitation, and we're trying to build some sort of, or manifest some sort of solid foundation for ourselves. On Thursday the 18th, Venus is now in a positive aspect to Neptune, so this is a very loving, flowing, creative, intuitive, healing sort of energy. Neptune rules the spiritual realm. It's a positive connection. They're both in water signs, which brings in the emotions, the psychic, the intuitive, the healing energies. And so there's a nice break here after that Tuesday and maybe into Wednesday full moon intensity with Venus and Neptune. Sometimes Venus falls in love when she's connected to Neptune. Sometimes she's wearing rose-colored glasses when it comes to a person or a situation. So that's something we also have to be aware of. But it's kind of that unconditional love, compassion, everything is right with the world, and almost a bit of fantasy kind of energy when Venus connects with Neptune. And then on Sunday the 21st, Venus has moved on and she's now opposing Pluto in Capricorn, which was part of that full moon lunar eclipse. So she's going through the motions of some sort of change here with that opposition to Saturn, which might be challenging, the connection to Neptune, which is more loving and flowing, and then at the end of the week, another opposition, but now to Pluto, which is that planet of power and death and rebirth and transformation. So again, opposition, playing out with other people. There could be some sort of transformative energies going on in our relationships right now. And it could be our romantic relationships, it could be business relationships, it could be friendship relationships. But this is something that is probably pretty powerful and that should be paid attention to. Now, backing up to Friday the 19th, Mercury, which is in retrograde motion, is moving back into Cancer. Remember that Mercury went retrograde at 4 degrees of Leo, but now on this day, Friday the 19th, it's retrograding back into Cancer for a few days. And actually will be in Cancer for a little while, because by the time it goes back to direct motion, it then has to travel through Cancer again to get back to Leo. So now we're again highlighting logic, communication, thoughts, ideas that relate to Cancer energies, which again, home, family, land, property, nurturing, loving, compassion, caretaking, all of these things are related to Cancer. Our emotions are Cancer energy. And since Mercury rules the mental realm, our communications can be more loving, our communications can be more compassionate, our communications are more likely highlighted in the home and family in some way. And then on Sunday the 21st, the same day that Venus is opposing Pluto, bringing in some sort of powerful transformation either with money, finances, or relationship, Mercury retrograde in Cancer is now connecting to the Sun, and it's at almost the last degree of Cancer. It's 28 and going into maybe 29 degrees of Cancer. So that's right before the Sun will transition into Leo. But because the Sun highlights something with its light, and Mercury retrograde, as I mentioned before, is communication, thoughts, ideas revolving around home and family matters or situations, there's something highlighted in regards to, again, relationships, family relationships. And with Venus opposing Pluto, there could be some powerful explosive situations or some transformation, or both, that occurs in this realm. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the energies or the messages from our angels and guides. I just realized, by the way, that I didn't give you an extended definition of the stones of choice. I gave you intuitively what chakras they related to, but also maybe because we're in eclipse season, we have a lunar eclipse, I'll give you a little bit more really quick here before I give you the angel messages and the messages from our guides for the week. So the carnelian helps to restore vitality and motivation. It gives courage, promotes life changes or choices, and motivates us for success. The selenite, besides what I said earlier, good luck and protection, excellent for spiritual work, opens and activates the crown, as I said, crown chakra, and forgiveness, harmony, and helps with memory. And then, of course, the chrysocolla here. This is a stone of communication and self-expression. It is a stone of empowerment and teaching. It discharges negative energy, and helps to bring a sense of serenity, and it allows truth and inner wisdom to surface and be heard. So thank you for that little kind of diversion here. So let's look at the cards here from our angels and guides. And I meant to choose 3 as I usually do, but sometimes, as you all know, those that watch my videos, sometimes 2 cards come out together, and that has happened twice. So we actually have 5 cards to look at here. And the first card that came out was Major Arcana 15, and in this deck, the Power Angel Tarot deck, it's called Decision with Archangel Jophiel. It says, release yourself from that which holds you back, a need to detox, unnecessary worry based on a lack of self-confidence. Now, in the traditional tarot, this is the Devil card, and the Devil card deals with our anxieties, our fears, a feeling of being trapped. But the whole thing about this card is that feeling of being trapped is just an illusion. It's you know, in some aspects it's self-created or it's not real. Now, it might feel very real to you, and it's not to invalidate any of you that may be feeling that way. But this is something that where, you know, we're needing to release ourselves from something. Just like we talked about the full moon being a time of completion, letting go, releasing, healing. This card certainly signifies that, and there's some sort of decision that needs to be made. So in this deck, you know, that label of decision is telling us that there's something we need to decide. There's something we need to communicate maybe to somebody else is what's coming through. But it's something that when it comes down to it, we're needing to make some sort of decision to release and let go what no longer is in our highest and best interest, whatever that might be. It might be a situation, it might be a relationship, it might be a belief system or a subconscious pattern within ourselves. It might be emotional energy that we need to release, transmute, and let go. This is saying, though, that any worry is unnecessary. We don't need to worry. Our angels and guides are helping us, they're guiding us, they're giving us messages, and we do need to come into more of a sense of self-confidence, though. Again, with the Devil card, there's worries and fears and anxieties. So we need to be more confident in who we are, what we want in our lives, and in making a decision that's in our highest and best interest. Now, the card that came out with this card, actually, let's take a look at that one. Okay, the card that came out with that card is the 3 of Ariel. This is like the 3 of discs, the 3 of earth, the 3 of pentacles in the traditional tarot. And this says, do what you love, a time of great personal growth in your career or artistic endeavors. Work with others in a cooperative manner. So it has a dual feel to it. It feels like, you know, whatever this fear is, it might be related to something with our career, our job, our life path. Oftentimes the 3 of Ariel deals with something third dimensional, you know, like our job, like money, like finances. And we're supposed to focus on being involved with, again, or doing what we're passionate about, what we feel connected to, what gives us joy, what gives us excitement every day when we wake up. So if it's, again, based on career and how we're making our money, please focus on what would you love to do? What do you desire to do? And maybe it's going to take some time to work this out over the days or weeks ahead, but it's something to where you need to focus on what makes me feel passionate about life, about myself, you know, the work I'm doing. Am I passionate about it? Now, it does say at the bottom, working with others in a cooperative manner. So that kind of brings in that relationship piece of the Cancer energy, where the sun is, where our new moon solar eclipse was a couple of weeks ago. So this decision, again, can also be based on something with our relationships with other people, cooperating, compromising, working in a diplomatic way, in a way that feels equal and balanced for everyone involved. So I also feel like there's something going on, again, with that, and this idea of needing to kind of cooperate. And the number 3 is a group number energy. You know, we don't have 2 people, now we have 3 people, which now encompasses a group of people. So this might also be cooperating within a group structure in some way, shape, or form. Now the next card that came out, the second card, and it came out by itself. Okay, we have another Major Arcana. Major Arcana number 6, the Lovers, with Archangel Raphael. And the message at the bottom of this card says, make choices from your heart, deeply emotional commitments, and the power of love. Now, obviously, this does bring in the idea that with Venus connecting to Saturn and then Neptune and then Pluto this week, there is something going on in relationship matters. Not necessarily just our marriage or love relationship or lovers type of relationship. Again, it could be any kind of one-on-one relationship to where we feel an emotional connection, a deep emotional connection with that person. So it could be family, it could be a strong friendship. But this is saying that, again, choices made from the heart. And here we have decisions. So again, there's something that we've been contemplating, thinking about, ruminating about, that needs to have some sort of conclusion to it in a way of, again, making a decision or a choice that needs to be made here. It's a choice of what direction to go, again, with the relationship, or a choice what direction to go as far as a situation that involves other people that you're in a relationship with. But this is saying to be in your heart. Be in your heart center, be in the heart chakra, be in a place of unconditional love and compassion for what other people are going through. If there's any kind of challenges or imbalances going on in family stuff or significant relationship stuff, sometimes we have to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. And it doesn't mean we have to invalidate what we're going through, but it can mean that we can maybe see something from someone else's perspective and understand why maybe they're reacting the way they are or acting the way they are. And then we can make choices from a place of love. We can make choices based on a heart chakra, heart-centered energy that will help to smooth things out and allow things to unfold in a more easy manner, so to speak. Now the last card, 2 cards came out, and the first of those 2 cards is the 2 of Ariel. So we have another Ariel, 2 of discs, 2 of pentacles. So the number 2 is always about balance, balancing something. Here we're probably balancing responsibilities, earthly responsibilities, job, career. That usually is what pentacles or finances is all about. The pentacles are about finances, job, that kind of thing. It says at the bottom, it's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once, and making work fun. So here, comes that kind of being pulled in many directions, decisions, choices, trying to balance all the responsibilities in life, balance job with home, balance the tasks that need to get done. That's what kind of feels like is going on here. I feel like that full moon lunar eclipse is really going to activate something to where there's a lot of changes, a lot of redirections, or a lot of things happening all at once, and we have to balance all of these things. And make sure that you're taking time for self-care. If you take time for self-care, that's the best way to be able to balance all of the different responsibilities or activities or things that are going on in one's life. Now the last card, or the card that came out with that last card, we have another 2 card, the 2 of Raphael. Now we have the 2 of Cups. So now we really are pulling in relationship matters and balancing those relationship matters. It says 2 hearts dedicated to creating something wonderful, kindred spirits, and don't give up on those you love. I feel like there may be challenges in our relationships this week, and maybe for the weeks to come, the aftermath of the eclipses and how things are going to be unfolding. And this is saying to don't give up on the other person. Don't give up on the power of love. Don't give up that there can be a balance created here, and that something wonderful can come of working together, supporting one another, loving one another through the shadows that we're going through the difficulties or challenges that we're going through. There's something to be said for, people supporting one another and being there for one another through the ups and downs. Now it doesn't mean to invalidate anything that you're feeling or going through, or to create good boundaries for yourself if need be. But it does look like with, the lovers here, the 2 of Ariel, the 2 of Raphael, that relationships in some way is highlighted. And again, work and relationships being something that we're needing to balance in life. And of course, the transformational energy, the decisions that need to be made and moving out of a place of fear, but the transformation that's happening with the Pluto connected with that full moon lunar eclipse. So give it a little bit of time. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the special message depending on the stone of choice. Now I chose the Black Moon astrology cards because we're having an eclipse. So we're going to give this a little shuffle, and for carnelian people, okay, these cards actually wanted to come out together. So we have Aries, I am, and then we have Grand Cross provoker. Now, a Grand Cross it's 4 planets that are in challenging aspect to all one another. So it creates this kind of square pattern, which is why they call it a Grand Cross. Sometimes astrologers call it a Grand Square. It's an aspect of challenge that pushes us to make some sort of changes. And here we're needing to make some sort of change in relation to our sense of self, our self-identity, our confidence, our courage, our self-assertiveness, taking charge of our lives. Again, this could be creating good boundaries for ourselves. This also, they're saying, this activator pattern, the Grand Cross provoker, it's pushing us to make some sort of change to realize our true selves, to come back into a sense of, again, confidence and realize our self-identity and our true selves. Now, I feel strongly for a lot of you, this is, and again, relation to your life path, destiny path, career path in some way, shape, or form. But it could also be within relationship matters as well. All right, and then for those of you that chose the selenite heart, give this a little bit of a shuffle here. Taking a breath, selenite heart people, this one is calling me. And it says air element communication or communicating. I feel like we're going to choose another card. It seems like we're going to choose 2 cards for the special message. So let's choose another clarification card to go with the air element of communication. This one's calling my attention. Saturn, okay. So now we're communicating our truth. Very, very kind of blunt and blatant here. Communicating our truth. Saturn, again, is about responsibility. So we're needing to take responsibility for ourselves, how we feel, what we desire, what we want. And Saturn can sometimes be a little harsh. He's the taskmaster. He is a planet that teaches us lessons. It brings up old karmic patterns. So I would say before you speak your truth, to really do a meditation on the karmic patterns from the past or past lives, things, situations, circumstances that seem to repeat themselves for you, whether they be in relationships and money matters and career matters. And you may be speaking your truth to a boss. You may be speaking your truth to a friend. You may be speaking your truth to a family member or a loved one. But there's definitely something here to where you're needing to communicate your truth, to be responsible to yourself. Saturn, again, it wants you to be responsible. Be responsible to yourself and communicate your truth. Now, although Saturn can be kind of harsh, I would say don't communicate it in a harsh manner. Which is why I say to meditate first on your patterns, on, taking responsibility for anything that, with the patterns that are going on or the situations that you may have added to it in some way. Not saying that it's your fault in any way, because there is no fault, but just saying to kind of recognize and be truthful first with yourself. And why is the pattern continuing to play out? What am I supposed to learn? If Saturn's the great teacher, you have to be responsible and say, what is Saturn trying to teach me? And then you communicate that with any of the other people in your lives that it needs to be communicated to. All right, and then for those of you that chose the Chrysocolla, all right, Chrysocolla people. Okay, this one's calling my attention. Before I look at it, I'm going to choose the other one. Whoops. So giving this a little bit more shuffle, this one popped right out, so that's going to be the other one. So the first card was the 9th house and faith. The 9th house is about faith. And then we have the 3rd house, actually, interestingly enough, which is about messages. The 3rd house and the 9th house in astrology are opposite one another. The 3rd house is about communication, ideas. It's the mental realm of the 3rd house. How do I communicate and express verbally something? The 9th house, the opposite house, is about our belief systems, the bigger picture, whereas the 3rd house is more of the details and how do I communicate something that's happening. The 9th house is more of the big picture, seeing beyond the immediate, and again, expanding into what are my belief systems and how does that fuel my thinking. So there's something about merging your belief systems and your thinking and trying to come into some sort of understanding or awareness of how I communicate with other people, what my thoughts might be within myself. Do I go into a negative tailspin about something? Am I self-criticizing? And with this, again, this awareness of the 9th house and your belief systems, and our belief systems usually come from home and family and where we grew up. So contemplating that, what are my belief systems about myself, my life, and then how is my thought processes moving in relation to my belief systems? How is my communication happening or unfolding with other people, or even within myself in regards to my belief systems? And also with the idea of, again, having faith and trust in the universe, right? So ninth house is about faith and trust. So have faith and trust that you can, come into some sort of understanding or awareness and communicate properly if need be, whatever it is that you need to. So I want to send you all much love and light. Again, I'd love for you to check out my new website at sacredsoulempowerment.com. Thank you for all of you that follow me, subscribe to my channel, share my videos, comment on my videos. I love each and every one of you, and I send you all much love and light. Namaste.